It is time again for Medical Monday. Good morning and welcome. We are, of course, joined again by ophthalmologist Dr. Dylan Joseph, today discussing dysfunctional lens syndrome, which is very interesting. First of all, Dr. Joseph, how's it going? Are you well?
Good morning, Jan. Very well, thanks. Great weekend and looking forward to another week here in the office.
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Very interesting topic today, dysfunctional lens syndrome. But first of all, the big question, what on earth is it?
Yeah, it's actually quite a recently coined phrase, dysfunctional lens syndrome. If we think of the lens inside the human eye, which is equivalent to the spectacle lens, right? So the spectacle lens is helping you to focus the light rays at the back of the eye. But the human lens goes one step further, and what it does, apart from focusing the rays at the back of the eye, it will focus the rays at the back of the eye dependent on the distance you are viewing your target. So say you're reading at 20 or 30 years old, okay? The lens inside your eye is able to change its shape to focus the light rays at the correct spot. Then you look up from your book and you look into the distance. That lens changes its shape once again to allow the light rays to fall at the correct position at the back of the eye. So the lens has this ability to become what we call plastic. It molds itself depending on your viewing distance. However, when we hit the age of 40, 42, 45, the muscles that control this lens, the lens itself starts to stiffen up. And this is what we then coin dysfunctional lens syndrome. And there are 3 phases of dysfunctional lens syndrome, which we can actually discuss in another podcast. The classic symptoms of this, if you have really good distance vision, at 42, 45, when your lens starts dysfunctioning, you are no longer able to see clearly with your reading. So you get the short arm syndrome. You start pushing that book a little bit further away from you to try and put your reading material into focus. So in a nutshell, that is what we now refer to as dysfunctional lens syndrome. Okay,
and is there a more common name for it, Dr. Joseph?
Absolutely. The term that we've known for the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years, 100 years is presbyopia. So presbyopia means loss of your near vision. And that is classically what happens to us when we're 40, 45, 50. But when we're talking to people or patients about the loss of their near vision, as opposed to using a clinical or a medical term, presbyopia, which most people don't understand, we've now coined a phrase which does hit the message home. Dysfunctional lens syndrome means that merely that something in your eye system is no longer functioning as it did when you were 20 or 30, and just because it's doing that doesn't simply mean that we are going to pick up a pair of reading glasses to correct it. That was our traditional way of correcting dysfunctional lens syndrome or presbyopia. But we have now got a variety of ways in which we can treat that, both non-surgically and surgically.
Okay, and then treatment options available, Dr. Joseph, when you are considering fixing this condition, what are the treatment options available?
So we split that into 2 categories, the non-surgical and the surgical options. Obviously, non-surgical would mean spectacles or a contact lens in the form of blended vision, where you put a contact lens on the one eye to help you read, or you could put a multifocal contact lens onto that eye to help you read. For a number of reasons, people may be intolerant to contact lenses or not like reading spectacles. And then you can look at the surgical options, where you can consider staying outside the eye with laser vision correction, where we can now do what's called blended laser vision correction, where we might only need to operate on your one eye to allow you to read again. If you, for a number of reasons, not a good candidate for laser vision correction, we can consider going into the eye and implanting a multifocal contact lens on top of your own lens to keep your distance vision, but give you the reading vision in what we call the non-dominant eye. And we've talked about your dominant and non-dominant eye in podcasts prior to this. And failing this, we've even got options to then remove your own human lens and implant technologies which either can simulate that blended vision scenario or trifocality, meaning keeping your distance and giving your reading vision back. So we're not compromising then on your distance vision in that eye's vision that we're changing. So there's a number of surgical surgical options available for what we call presbyopia, or now modern day technologies, dysfunctional lens syndrome. So, one doesn't need to discount the fact that when we hit 40, 42, 45, and suddenly we can't read anymore, that our default is just a reading pair of spectacles. It's not the case if you're looking for more permanent solutions.
Okay, and then final question, Dr. Joseph. How would I know if I'm a good candidate for the treatment options?
Yeah, fantastic question. If you're tired of the spec or the contact lens, the multifocal contact lens, or you're looking to be independent of those spectacles, we would need to do what we call an advanced eye assessment, where we put you through a barrage of investigations and examinations of the front of your eye. We look at your vision. We sit and discuss in detail your surgical options. And through that process of 2.5 hours with me, then you'll understand your options available, be them non-surgical or surgical, and you can walk out the office at the end of the day knowing that you have options to correct your vision. So it's basically an advanced eye assessment with a refractive surgeon that's going to give you the information that you want. And
finally, how do we get in touch with you, Dr. Joseph?
Yeah, Jan, we're based in Knysna and at 4 Barracuda Street at the Advanced Health Day Clinic. And our website is www.drdillanjoseph.com. You can phone our offices and speak to Mariska on 044 150 0085. And if you're from the Southern Cape or Cape Town or Oudtshoorn, and you're interested in presbyopic corrections or in dysfunctional lens syndrome corrections or laser vision correction for that matter, we've now recently opened a screening center in George. We've got a highly trained refractive optometrist there who does the screening, sends all the scans through. We can look at it real time on our linked software platforms and make a decision. We see the patient on the day, sit and have a chat with the patient, counsel them, consent them, and we can do the surgery for them in Knysna. We've also got our Instagram platform and Facebook platforms and our YouTube channel. So yeah, we've got a lot of great content there, a lot of great videos, so please go and take a look at them. And if you've got any questions, feel free to send us an email or give us a call.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Joseph. That's it for another Medical Monday for today, and wishing you a wonderful week. Until next time.
Well, thank you, Jan, and same to you that side.